Hi YouTubers, what's going on? I'm going to talk a little more watches today, and we're looking at a couple Seiko Monsters. Now I did a review on this one here, and this is a first gen Monster. This one next to it is a newer second gen Monster. Now the main purpose of this video is kind of discuss what the differences are. If you were just a normal consumer that didn't, wasn't really into watches or anything, you just kind of think, oh, they just look slightly different. Aesthetically, they look very similar. I'll just kind of hold them side by side. First gen on the right, second gen on the left. You can see the dials, the external bezel looks very similar. Same kind of markings and everything. The internal bezel, with the markers, you can see on the first gen Monster. In this particular one, the black dial has the greenish markers, and it has like the little squares, instead of on the second gen. You can see it has the teeth, is what they kind of call them. This one they call the Vampire Monster because it has the white teeth with the red, kind of like blood on them. It's pretty sweet. That's why I went with that one. But so aesthetically, there's that difference. They're they're exactly the same size. They're both 43 millimeter cases. Can't really show you the back on this one without taking the band off, but and this one I just got, so you can see the back casings look. Let's just pull this up real quick. So you can see the back looks almost identical. Still got the new little blue thing on that one, but so really hard to tell apart. If you're just looking at it, you'd just basically say, okay, well the dial is different. That's really all. But there's actually quite a bit more to the second gen Monster, which would, like I said, only come up if you knew kind of what you're looking for. So both are automatic watches, both are dive watches, both are resistant to 200 meters. The difference being the second gen Seiko Monster uses a new type of movement. The first gen uses a 7S26 movement, which has been good. The difference is it's self-winding only. You can't be hand wound, and the movement's not hacking. So for the everyday consumer that's going to wear this watch every day, no big deal. Well, the second gen Monster actually upgrades that movement to the new Seiko 4R36 movement, which can be hand wound and it can also be hacked. Now to kind of give you a lesson here on this, I'm going to unscrew the crown here. Okay. Now I can pull it out one time, and I can hand wind the watch. Oh, excuse me, nope, that's the date. See, I pulled it too far. If you're not careful, you can pull it too far and do the date. So we're going to fix that real quick. Yes, it is Friday the 13th. Because you can pull it out so many times. This is now completely stopped the watch. And you can see here that the second hand is completely stopped. On this one, and I tell you what, I like the crown a lot better on the second gen. It's a lot easier to grab. It's got better knurling on it. But you'll notice, well, this one wasn't working because it's just the power reserve's been drawn down because it hasn't been worn. Let's just kind of mess with this a little bit. Get the second hand. Okay, so that's pulled out completely, and then you notice the second hand keeps ticking. So what the hacking means is you can actually set this watch to like an atomic clock or some sort of like very, very accurate time, so you can actually get perfect time out of this watch. You can set the second hand right where you want it to be. So that's a pretty cool feature. Very useful, not for most people, but it's cool. The thing that I liked most about this one is the back that you can hand wind the watch, which I'm doing right now. So see, notice the date's not going. You can hand wind it, which will increase the power reserve of the watch. So if this is a case where you're going to wear a different watch, if you don't wear this one every day, which I do have a few different watches I wear, it's kind of nice to have that hand wind option because you're not going to have to continually have to reset the time on the watch. You can just give it a wind and give it some power reserve. So that is a pretty big upgrade, and if you didn't know the difference between movements and you didn't know, didn't research that much, you may just think, oh, you're getting a different looking dial. So there's actually a lot more value, in my opinion, in the second gen Monster than the first gen. The first gen is still a good value, and you can find them on the secondary market pretty cheap as well, and they're still a great watch. But the second gen, if you're looking to buy new, can be had for the exact same price typically as the first gen Monsters. Yeah, they do have the better movement. They do have the hackable movement, and they have, you know, you can self-wind the watch. So it makes it even an incredible value in this price range to have those features. The only thing it's really missing is a sapphire crystal, which typically would jump the price up another $100 or so. It does have the Hardlex, which is nice. It's a little bit, I think, more durable than your typical mineral crystal found on most watches. And the recessed bevel here really kind of helps protect that. So I think they should last quite a long time. So I just wanted to do a quick video, just kind of running down the differences between the first gen and second gen Monsters. There's obviously a lot more to it than just aesthetics. There's, you know, like I explained, with the different movements and the abilities of this watch, which does make it a better value. I think I picked this one up on Amazon for I think 170 something, which I think when I first looked at the original Monsters, they were over $200. So you could even find them cheaper. I mean, there's really no point to buy a first gen unless you like the looks better. If you like the way the face is, and some people they may not like the teeth. They might like the you know, the square markers here. So it's just kind of, it's not, but there's more to it than personal preference and aesthetics. There's, you know, like I said, the crown's a lot nicer to use. You do have the self-winding, and you have the hackable movement. So, and the 4R36 is an upgraded movement. It should keep better time and have, I think it has similar power reserve, but I've heard that it keeps better time. It doesn't lose as much or gain as many seconds as the older Seiko movement. So there's just a little watch education for you guys if you're interested. I really dig any kind of Seiko Monster. I think they're a pretty highly collectible watch because there's so many variants. I was looking really hard at this one, and when it had like a sunburst orange dial with like a black bezel, PVD coated, and decided to go with this one, but I may get the other one in the future because I think for an automatic watch, they're probably the best value out there in the watch world that I can even think of. So I can't think of too many that you can hand wind in this price range. I do have the Maritac Pilot watch, which has also got hand winding, and it does have a sapphire crystal, but you're talking another $100 or so in price. So right now I think the Monster, especially the second gen, is probably the best value in automatic watches. So alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and please share the video. Hit that like button, and we'll see you next time. Actually, before we go, I want to do a little lume comparison between the two. You can see they're pretty much identical. Yeah, I can't really see that one is brighter than the other. They both look pretty awesome, and they both have excellent lume. So there's a little lume shot comparison for the first gen and second gen Monsters.